in the distance, there's something big, and we're thinking it's a truck or something. And we're getting closer and closer. And as we finally notice that, oh my God, that's a tank, and it's tracking us.
Take us away, Bubby.
Welcome, everybody, to the retirement house. We had someone scheduled, and they are not coming. So we are going to entertain you with our own original thoughts, ideas, activities.
That takes a lot of thinking.
That's right.
I'm going to turn it over to my favorite people.
That's right. We don't have a plan today, but I do have one question, which is, what's one thing you guys want to knock off your bucket list?
I can't tell.
Oh, come on, Bubby. What's it going to take?
Spill the tea.
No way.
Okay.
Don't bring it up if you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, no kidding.
I wanted to cause a little excitement in the room.
Okay.
Cause a little more.
My bucket list is, it's not R-rated. It's travel, mainly. I've covered almost all of the globe except for South America.
Oh.
So I'm going to go down to Brazil
Yep.
the next chance I get and go to the Wasu Falls. It's supposed to be falls. It's twice Niagara Falls.
Mm-hmm.
And stop in Peru. That'll be every sector of the world for me.
Have you been to Thailand?
Yeah, I've been. Well, Vietnam is
The
just so
Arctic?
close.
Yeah, I'm skipping a
Were
jump
you in
away.
the Arctic?
Oh no, Arctic. They had me. Or I had orders to go there.
Did you go?
No, they turned into Hawaii.
That was a
Lucked
nice
out there.
switch.
That's funny because I've never been to South America either, and I've been all over everywhere
Are you-
except the Arctic, Greenland, Iceland,
Yeah, no,
and
I don't care to go to those parts. But
Well-
you want to go to South America with me? Is that what you're saying?
Well, you know, you
No.
can go down to Tierra del
thanks,
Fuego.
thanks anyway.
Yeah, southern Argentina will be like going to the Arctic, but yeah, it's a great place.
I went to the Arctic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You went to the Circle and back?
When I was making We Know Not What We Do, my documentary film, we went up 30 miles above the Arctic Circle to a little town called Kivalina, and we were there for over a week, and it was the most amazing thing. There's a wonderful village of Eskimos that actually lived there, and they were so kind to us. They thought we were kind of stupid because they're getting all kinds of bad weather because we are such idiots about the way we're living on the planet. And they said, watch out, it's coming your way. And I'm looking out the window today and I think, wow, it's coming our way.
How cold was it where you were?
It felt pretty warm to me. It was in the fall, but the problem they're having up there is that it's all heated up and they can't store food anymore in the ground and they can't walk on the ice. They used to be able to hunt seals for 3 or 4 months. Now it's down to about 3 weeks. And I have heard the story of the canary in the coal mine most of my life, but the most amazing, dramatic time that I've ever heard it is when an Eskimo was sitting there telling me that story about the canary in the coal mine as though I surely hadn't heard it, because if I had heard it, I would have changed the way I was living on the planet. It makes me almost cry to even think about my time in Kivalina. Those wonderful people, they were so nice to us. But they didn't take a bit of bullshit from us. May I say that word?
You can say whatever the fuck
Wait,
you
yeah, you
want.
just said it. Wait a minute, bleep.
Fuck. Can I say fuck?
It's a little
Wait,
late.
where? Okay, this is a dumb question. Where's the Arctic? Where's the Arctic located?
Next to Canada.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I would have believed anything. in this book.
Antarctica.
You don't even
Like-
know?
I know
One's south
Antarctica.
and one's
We're talking
north.
about Antarctica?
The Arctic is north on the
Pole.
Okay,
globe.
just
and the
checking.
Antarctic
That's what
is
I
the bottom.
thought, but had to clarify.
Sarah Paulin could stand in the Arctic and look over at Russia.
Oh, I remember
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. All right, I have another question. So Adi and I are 26, 27. What did the world look like when you guys were our age? What was going on in culture? What was popular? What were some current events?
The military was not very popular. It was like we were causing wars and people were spitting on us. And I was passing through Norfolk, Virginia, and a little grass, they had signs that said, "Sailors and dogs keep off the grass."
Wow.
But at that very same time, we were in the Air Force. I wasn't personally in the Air Force, but being an Air Force wife, you're in the Air Force. And we looked on everything positively, and everybody treated us positively. But I know that wasn't going on around the world. I was just
You're in
on
a
an
bubble. You're in a bubby bubble.
no. I was in the Panhandle of Florida.
Oh, okay.
And that was Air Force Navy territory.
Mm-hmm.
And the people around there supported the Air Force.
Mm.
Yeah,
When
Pensacola
you say
and
like
everything.
they spit on us, who's they? Like, what are you referring
The
to?
people would just spit on you and heckle you.
Just
Like,
in the
yeah,
street?
people in general, yeah.
Is your like a
Oh,
young
yeah,
person?
it was like we started the war and we were keeping it
Young
up.
people?
Yeah, all kind of people, hippies, young people, old people, and people they put signs up. I told you about the one keep off the grass, but there'd be other kind of signs
Oh,
up
yeah,
also.
baby killers. And
Yeah, all
Baby
kind of
killers.
stuff.
Yeah.
This carried on for a period of
while,
time.
and
Yeah,
it still goes on.
Yeah.
But it had been worse. People came back from Vietnam and they were treated very badly.
Yes, they were.
And it
Yeah.
had slowed down by the time you were 26 or 27.
well,
But the military was still segregated. I did a USO tour in 72 and the bases were segregated. I was shocked.
Our base was not segregated because there was a colonel that lived right behind us, and we lived in base housing.
I mean, the troops themselves, they had
In the ranks.
the
yeah.
black troops were in one group, and I guess the rest of I don't know who else was over in the other group. There was a lot of things going on in America that weren't great. But at the same time, around that age, I was a little bit older. I went to Africa and I came back and I kissed the ground.
Yeah.
I was so grateful to be in America.
as bad as it is, it's the best. It's like an oxymoron.
Well,
It's bad best.
Travel will kind of open your eyes to that fact of what you can do and can't do in foreign countries, and yet that's everyday life here. And it's kind of a rude awakening all of a sudden when you go, oh my gosh. I had to spend a bit of money if I could wait at the border and have my car dismantled and then have myself put it back together. Or I could buy a soldier with a machine gun to sit in the car with me, and it would be cocked and pointed at me while I drove from one side of the country to the other. It took pretty much about 12 hours just to make sure that I didn't stop anywhere. And that was the only way I could pass through that country.
Do you mind telling us what country it was?
That was Nicaragua.
Wow.
Yeah, and because they were still at war, that was the time of Iran-Contra and all that going on, and the Sandinistas, and there was still a war going on basically down there. And pretty much all through Central America and South America, each country had their own military force or unit that would deal just with the communist guerrillas, or what they called the communist guerrillas. And the IT&T papers were coming out in Peru and Chile. And actually, we made it out with the skin of our teeth, literally, out of Chile, because otherwise we would have been in that stadium. There was a movie made about that.
Oh yeah, Jack Lemmon did
Yeah,
one.
Jack Lemmon's movie. That
Yeah.
was the same time I was down there, and we actually got smuggled out of the country, so that didn't happen to us. And yeah, it was crazy. And then we got deported from Peru as a result of that. But we made it back to the country, and yeah, talk about kissing the ground when you got off the plane.
I went to Nicaragua later,
Mm-hmm.
but the poverty there
Oh yeah,
was frightening. It was one of the first third world country that I went as a missionary, so that meant I didn't stay in the Hilton. It meant I stayed in someone's home
right.
with lizards running across. Yes, lizards. The roaches were. I was thankful for roaches after the lizards ran through the room.
Oh, I've got roach stories.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Oh, they flew. They
you
they were
fly
everywhere.
roaches?
Oh, they were everywhere.
Oh, in Hawaii,
Oh man,
they would dive at you.
Yeah.
I used to be laying on the floor watching TV, and there would be an opening at the top of the curtain, and these big flying roaches that would.
Really?
God, yeah.
Yeah, they'd be waiting for you
Oh,
at the door.
man.
And in other countries, I remember I was in Africa, and there were roaches running around on the dinner table, and
Yeah.
I'm holding my plate, and I'm trying to eat and hold my plate, and I said, "Where's the Raid?" And they said, "What's Raid?"
Yeah, yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
"Stuff you spray the bugs with," and they just laughed.
Hey, you got,
We're not spending money on bug spray. Are you
Speaking
kidding
of
me?
animals on the table, we went to we stopped at a little place in the very right at the border between Peru and Chile, and we went into a little roadside restaurant there overlooking the ocean. We were probably on a top of a cliff, maybe 200 feet above the ocean. And it was run by a Samoan family that had immigrated there. It was a seafood restaurant, so we were waiting for a table, and we got a little table. There was like 3 tables. So we got a table, and we're sitting down, and the table that was empty next to us, those folks just left. And on that table was a rooster, and he was cleaning the top of the table. Underneath the table was a pig, and he was taking care of all the floor around that table. So we get our food, and we're starting to eat, and the rooster had finished, and so had the pig. And so the rooster's on the other table, and he's kind of looking at us. And he's looking at our food, and he's watching our fork go from the food to our mouth. And he's going closer and closer to the edge of the table, and the pig's circling us, you know. And
Where was that?
That was in Peru, southern Peru.
Oh, God.
And we kind of ate and ran at that place. It was they were making us nervous. I mean,
when I got transferred to the Philippines out of Vietnam,
Yeah.
I flew into Clark Field and was catching a bus down to Olongapo. And I got on the bus. There was no one on it but me because it started there at the base. Man, I fell asleep, and you guys can attest to that. You know I fell asleep. I woke up, and there was a crate of chickens by me.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
The first thing you saw?
Yeah.
It was on the seat, a crate of chickens, and there was a big.
Oh yeah.
What the heck am I on? The animal bus? And people were hanging off the side of it.
Oh yeah.
You know,
yeah.
they all over they were hanging everywhere on the hood, everywhere they could get on. They were.
More often than not, though, you saw the people trucks, and because the buses just weren't heavy enough to handle it, or they were too long to make a lot of the mountain roads going over the Andes. And we were up at 15,000 feet at the Altiplano, going to La Paz before we went down into the capital of Peru. It's like the capital of Bolivia. It's like an inside-out anthill. It's a really wide town at the top, and then it goes down to a core. And as we're coming over the Altiplano at 15,000 feet, in the distance, we're going, okay, we're getting close to it. In the distance, there's something big, and we're thinking it's a truck or something. And we're getting closer and closer, and we got to kind of come, towards this thing and then veer off and go down. And as we finally noticed that, oh my God, that's a tank, and it's tracking us. And we're going, oh shit, what do we do? What do we do? Just keep on driving. And it followed us right to where the road goes down in, and then it went back. And it was just like, I don't know what they're planning, but things were pretty high tension down there when we were there. And that was 1970, 71, about that. You learn to really be street smart in a new way. You know, you learned how to be respectful in a new way. And yeah, that was there was a lot of interesting stories about South America.
Yeah, when I was 21, not 26, stationed in Hawaii, there was a lot of racial tension. There had been a race riot on board an aircraft carrier down in Pearl Harbor, so tensions were kind of high. And we were going over to Johnston Atoll, just like a coral island where they land planes and they keep not cyanide, but they keep the gases there for war.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to carry a gas mask with you. And we were going over there to entertain. And I'm sitting next to Hermione, beautiful black woman singer. And it was warm out. And we had like fudgicles, and I had my khakis on, and some dripped on my pants. So I just said, damn black spot. And she says, what's wrong with black? I said, black is beautiful, but it doesn't go with khakis. And she got a kick out of that. And then a few weeks later at the social club, there was a big social meeting gathering. And she's with a bunch of friends. There's these two big black guys. And again, the tension. So I go over, we get a big hug and a kiss. And these guys look at me, and I'm like, oh, shit. And she goes, oh, he's good, he's good. Oh, hi. Then shake hands, everything. So, yeah, it was tension. And I heard my redneck roommate using the N-word, and I'm saying, shut up. But he was bigger than I am, too. So it's like, okay, just walk away from him and don't spend time with him.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get drafted?
I would have been drafted because my number was 72.
Oh.
But I enlisted thinking, I get to pick where I want to go.
Yeah.
No. I wanted to be at Fort Devens in Massachusetts. I went from Fort Dix basic training. For some stupid reason, they sent me out to Fort Lewis, Washington, then back down to Fort Benning, Georgia. Worked on the newspaper there because I had done radio and stuff. Worked on the newspaper, sports reporter, sports editor. And what I liked there was we would write up our mess. It won best mess in the whole 6th Army. And then so the people in the mess hall would say, oh, there was a spot on this cake. Here's some free cake. Oh, here's some free pie. So we get all this free food with us. And then I ended up in Hawaii, which was fun. But like I say, there were tensions there. And as I left, they were training, literally taking office people like me. I work for the Inspector General, taking us with your typewriter equipment, rifles and everything, to the Big Island to train. Because the next stop was Guam, because the soldiers from Guam were sent over to Vietnam. So I got out lucky. My Inspector General put me in for a Good Conduct Medal and some other service medal, which you usually get if you're only in 3 years. I was in 2. And I went to my captain and said, I'm supposed to get a Good Conduct. Oh, you can buy one of those. I went back to my boss, Inspector General. He said, I could buy it. He goes, wait a minute. Okay, he has it ready for you. So I get the Good Conduct Medal and the Army Service Commendation. And they had a ceremony for me. He said he was going to get in a lot of trouble because we used to call it a C-cap. You'll know what I mean, Jerry. A C-cap, and my hair was sticking out because it was a little bit long. So the colonel said, I'm going to get fired for this. And he pinned it on me, and I was proud, and they took pictures of it. Supposedly a specialist in photography. And a few months after I got home, I get the envelope from the Army. Here's your picture. They had printed it backwards. And these were specialists in photography. So that tells you what the Army was like. They would take a specialist, a mechanic, we'll make him a cook. They weren't too intelligent that way. But it was, I'm glad I got out. I was proud that I got the service content. Here it is. Take a picture. Okay, off.
Jerry, were you drafted?
No.
No? Did you guys know people that were?
I knew people that were, but I would. Mine was born out of. I almost starved. I was homeless in Cleveland, Ohio. I went into a restaurant, ordered a big meal. When I finished, the lady, I looked at her and I said, "Ma'am, you got dishes, anything? I'll do anything to pay for my meal." She said, "You don't have any money?" I go, "No." She said, "Why didn't you tell me that before you ate?" I said, "I couldn't afford for you to say no." I was that hungry.
What's the restaurant?
Oh, it's a little black restaurant, a little soul food restaurant. And I don't remember the name of it, but the lady, she took me after, she said, "Go over there. Wait for me over there until I get off." When she got off of work, she said, "Where are you from?" I said, "Dayton." I could have said Alabama, anywhere. She went in her purse and brought me a ticket. Well, when I got back to Dayton, Ohio, the bus went down the street, made a U-turn, and came back up. So when it turned the corner, I saw that sign that said, "Join the Navy and see the world." I thought, oh my God, man, I think they feed you in there. And that was it. That's the reason why I went.
That's crazy. To think, like, I mean, that's an insane story, but the drafting thing blows my mind. Like, I can't imagine that being a reality for like someone 18 years old thinking that they have to get sent across the world to go
I think the
fight.
draft had stopped by that time.
No.
No,
They were still
but
picking
they-
numbers. Like I say, my number was 72,
And
and it was up to 100 and something. If you're above that, you may not do it. So I said 72. I better enlist.
and Vietnam ended in like 72.
Yeah, right after we
And
got back from South America.
They were drafting people even towards the end of the Vietnam War. Most of my high school friends figured out some way to get out of the draft because everybody had to sign up. Well, you still have to. Everybody has to
by
sign
law.
up.
Yeah.
But everybody basically had to serve. So they would get into college. They would volunteer to do stuff, whatever they could do to get out of going into the service.
I never did understand that. I wasn't educated enough. I was in Vietnam and hadn't even heard of it. Didn't know how to spell it. Didn't, you know what I'm saying? Alabama history, no world history, Alabama history only. And I never understood how to dodge the draft or how anything.
Well, they weren't necessarily looking to dodge it, quote unquote, like the people who ran to Canada.
Yeah.
yeah.
But they had a life plan that they were going to college. They were going to be whatever kind of technicians they were going to be. The service just wasn't in their plans. And
I wish
so
I was
they-
that smart.
they figured
I
out
was
ways
in.
to-
I was in about a month where my mother said, "Oh, you get a letter from the government. You know, so and so, you've been drafted."
Yeah.
I said, "Tell them it's too late. They've already got me." They didn't even keep track. It was greetings and salutations from the U.S. government. You have
Right.
It's crazy. And it's so much more recent in history than I think so many people my age think that it was.
Brandon, the original question was, what would we like to do on our bucket list? Some of us have got to have some happy bucket lists that don't invoke
Travel.
travel.
Yeah.
Don't you want to skydive? Is that you?
Yeah, I wanna
I want to
skydive.
skydive holding hands with you.
Okay, we'll
That'd
do
be
that. Hear that, Brandon?
Sounds
You're
awesome.
paying for
Save it for the TV show, though.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
I just pictured all of us like in a circle holding hands in the air with like the photo of like, you know,
Right, it'll say
yeah.
retirement
Like,
house.
Oh, we could
And I-
do that.
Our bodies
Well,
spell
remember,
RH.
the draft is not in. It's over.
drafting.
Don't draft me for that. I wanted to bungee jump. I really did want to do
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At a younger age, but
I feel
It's called Snap. That's why.
Yeah.
I feel like that's so much scarier.
Yeah.
Bungee jumping.
yeah,
Why?
it's got to be.
Because you're like staring at the fucking ground.
You're
Yes.
doing that when you're jumping out
No,
of the
but it's
plane.
so high up, like you
Yeah.
can't
See the
can't
ground.
see it. You know, but
Okay.
bungee jumping, I'm making eye contact with little rocks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can't see. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, guess what?
And then I think I would still do it though.
There's only two endings.
Yeah.
Well, when you're wearing a parachute, when you get to those little rocks, you're going much slower.
Yeah, you're going pretty
Yeah.
slow.
I'm in there. If you want to do a skydive, I'm in. It's
Yeah?
three of us.
Group skydive, tattoos
Group
after.
skydive.
Yeah. Wait, hold up. Wait,
Oh, you want to do tattoos first
I
and then skydive?
No,
wait.
no.
My
no.
grandson says I am a badass because I have face tattoos. I'll have you know that liner.
Oh, you got the eyeliner tatted?
All right.
It's permanent? Wow.
Didn't it
That
hurt?
hurt.
Yes, you've got tattoos. You know they hurt.
But like,
Yeah, I would
yeah,
like
no,
that.
that
I
hurt.
don't know. I don't know if they hurt worse, but they hurt.
That's scary.
Picture this, ready? You're 26, 27 years old. It's Friday night. You go out to the club. You're wearing your best outfit. The music's going. The dance floor is full. What music is playing?
Oh, gosh.
Disco.
When you were 27 years old.
When I was 27.
Disco.
No, I want
78.
artist names and songs.
Oh. Casey and the Sunshine Boys.
Chuck, you didn't go
Oh,
out.
now
I'm
this-
kidding.
Yes, once in a while.
This is culturally.
He put on his platforms, man.
Sunshine Boys.
I had platforms.
No,
I did have
no.
platform shoots. Man, that was painful.
Just
Right.
remember.
Where the place where I went, B.B. King and Bobby Blue Bland. They called it Stormy Monday. Oh, Lord.
Just as bad.
I got a witness over here.
No, that's right,
I
though.
was listening to the Beatles.
Oh, God.
I was listening to
Oh, now she's
Doobie
going.
Right, it would've
She's going white privilege on me.
But were they playing that in the clubs? Like, I want to know what was
the
like
clubs.
hot.
I went to the Whiskey A Go Go right down the street
nice.
from here.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
The rock and roll clubs were so great in the 60s and 70s. Sunset Boulevard literally glittered. You walk down there now and it ain't glitter.
Yeah, it's a different
No,
vibe.
Scary.
no.
The Whiskey A Go Go in Sydney.
In Sydney?
Oh, Lord.
Does something to 'em.
Being stalked by an Aborigine.
Do they have girls in cages?
No, she wasn't
Those were the Go-Go girls.
The Go-Go
I was
girls.
a Go-Go girl.
Yeah.
You go, girl. You go,
Yeah.
go.
Had to do the
That's
swim
right.
and all that. Yep, yep.
You
Oh,
were in
yeah.
cages?
Yeah. We would be in cages.
Voluntarily, yes.
But that was to keep the men
That's
from doing
right.
what they do to
That was
girls
to keep
in
the girls
cages
safe.
now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so we had go-go boots and I didn't wear a bikini, but we wore short shorts and we
Yeah.
entertained.
Yeah.
Oh, where
Yeah.
are those pictures?
Well, they had
Yeah.
in the go
There are some.
I don't believe it till I see it.
in the
I've
whiskey.
already told you way too much.
Oh God, yeah, we know where to go to see. But there's in the Sydney Whiskey A Go Go. What has happened to him? He's gone again.
I remember that. Never mind.
I know you did.
All right, let's hear it.
No.
In the Whiskey A Go Go in Sydney, the girls there was a ledge, and they would be dancing up above you. Oh man.
Jerry, what was like your line when you pick up women in public? I feel like you're a lady killer. Like you have like this one line that works every time. I want to hear it.
One line and works every time.
Yeah.
I was not that kind of a lady killer.
Didn't you say you got paid to go hook a guy up with girls?
Yeah.
So what was your conversation starter? What was your icebreaker?
That's why I'm trying to explain the kind of lady killer, did you say?
Lady killer.
Lady killer I was.
Tell me.
See, it all had to do with spur of the moment. Had to do with personality that I didn't even know what I was going to say. You know what I'm saying? In the moment, I just was able to live in moments.
Takes balls.
He was going to leave me on the bench with a homeless guy
What?
when we were walking to a restaurant because there was a pretty woman in a skirt across the street.
He's like, hell yeah,
See?
that was me.
He's even agreeing with me.
Well, but you know what?
I remember that.
Oh, that
you
was
remember
after the
that?
Sarah-
I'm saying you're just like,
That was after the CeraVe thing.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the girl had on shorts.
no wonder.
No. Wait a minute. I didn't finish.
He's right.
I didn't
I
finish.
understand.
He's
Bubby,
right. She did have on shorts.
Bubby, help me describe these shorts.
Short shorts.
And then they were shorter.
Why were you
You
going
could
to
see
meet Bubby
everything.
on the bench?
I just wandered over toward her. I don't know why.
He's just a magnet. Just
Yeah.
I had to hang
And
on to
poor
him
Bubby.
not to get
See,
dessert.
and you, D had to stop with you every
This
step.
is a gentleman.
Yeah, but
Carried me when I couldn't walk it.
Yeah,
but
until
then
he fell.
I dropped you on it. But
when
I
he
tried.
finished with you, he dropped you.
And they were both laughing
Dude,
their
I was
heads
scared.
off. the
Just
whole
don't give
way
him a
down.
tip.
I was giving Retha
A ride.
Right.
You know, you're
piggyback ride.
All right.
Piggyback.
Bobby, you're not nice.
Is that a new
We
style?
need way more.
Is that a new style? Piggyback? Is that a new
Piggyback
style?
ride.
Was that a bucket list?
Calm down.
All right.
And then I tried to put her down, and then I lost balance, and we fell backwards, and I was so scared that you were gonna hit your head on the concrete.
Oh, God. We
But
all
you
went
didn't,
running.
and we fell into like sewer water.
I have this on video.
And we all went running to help.
Can you imagine the headline? TikTok
my
manager of senior home.
Oh, God.
That was scary, bro.
Yeah.
Drops and stars.
That was
show.
scary. You know when you're just going down and you there's nothing you could do, but you know you're going, and you're just like fuck.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it seems like it takes a long time.
But-
doesn't it?
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
you just can't do
it was
anything.
slow-mo.
Yeah.
Slow-mo.
Young rising producer
Least,
drops
he didn't
former
leave
go-go
me
girl.
for a skirt. You left Bobby for a
No,
I wandered back
I
to her.
wouldn't let him leave me. I held onto his arm like a.
So he's
A
dragging
dog with a
Bubby with him
bone.
over to the.
I would not allow him to leave.
I couldn't believe what she had on, though. I just couldn't believe it. And she was walking a dog.
All right, I have another question.
Okay.
Bubby, you recently moved into a community with a lot of other seniors. Tell us some of the gossip. What's some of the drama going on in there?
Who's seeing who?
There's a lot of drama there.
What's the type of drama?
There are a lot of single men that have apartments there that
Really?
have hooked up with single women.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, they just hook up?
I think the ratio between women and men.
There are
Yeah.
many, many more women
Yes.
than there are men.
Where do you live
That are
now?
single?
There you
That
go.
are
Oh,
Yeah.
It's in an apartment house.
Oh.
For
And what's the
seniors.
median age?
They run from 75, I would say, up to their 90s.
I'm too young.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's not a place for me to hang out.
But no, but the nice thing about this place is they have a bar.
That's all you need.
And at 4:30, this bar is mobbed with people going to happy hour.
You want to go cruising? Huh? Yeah.
I've asked you two to come.
They wouldn't get out alive.
There are a lot of grandsons
I'm trying,
that
but
come.
4:30 is in the middle of the day.
They got nothing else to do, bro.
It's a good time for dinner there too.
By
Trying to maneuver these
Bubby's the only
times.
one with a job.
by 6:30, they go into the dining room to eat. So you have a small window. in
Yes.
there.
Wait, 6:30 is like the bar is closed?
No, the bar's
Oh.
still open.
They go,
Yeah.
Everyone
It's just
migrates.
remember
Well,
the
what do they
early bird
serve?
gets the
But-
worm.
But by that time, everyone has paired off.
And when I walk into the bar at night, first of all the bartenders know me. All the waiters know me
Oh,
as
excuse me.
retirement house.
Yeah.
Because when I first moved in there, somebody recognized me and the word spread quickly. So I have to be real sweet and smiley to everybody in the building because I'm representing the retirement house. And strangers come up all day and hug me because
Probably why
of
you got a cough.
retirement house. That's probably where, unless it's from him. So, and the bartender fixes everyone's drink as they walk through the door. He knows what everybody drinks.
Oh, there should be a retirement house drink.
so,
Oh,
Vodka and prune juice.
that's a good
About to
idea.
say that exact combination.
What?
Yep.
Vodka and prune juice.
He said it, not us.
I mean, there's
No.
a blender drink you can use
Some
that
of them
ensure.
drink
Yeah.
fancy drinks.
vodka
You know,
and prune
sitting here
juice?
listening to everybody's stories makes me think of so many wonderful, wonderful stories. And the interesting thing is that there's a difference in our ages. Different things were happening when each of us were 27. And I know in the 60s, there was a time in Golden Gate Park when Tim Leary and Dick Alpert and Dick Gregory, we were all there on the day that LSD became illegal, because when it first started out, when Alzy brought it out, Ken Kesey, all of those guys were so interesting. And we had a day of celebration when LSD became illegal. And there was an ugly little girl running around in black velvet. And I was guilty of thinking, who in the world is that? And then she went up to the microphone and Janis Joplin started singing, no one ever asked that question again. Oh my God, could that young woman sing? And she was singing the first song a cappella was Amazing Grace. She took over.
Wait, why did
Were you
that?
on LSD?
Not that day,
Yeah.
Why did that make you tear up?
because she was amazing. That's why.
I think the whole vibe was amazing. then.
Well, the whole vibe was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
She was amazing. And I had actually thought, who's that tacky looking little girl running around?
I was going to say, do either one of these two know who Janis Joplin
I don't.
was? You do
Oh,
know.
tell
don't.
me that you
Yeah.
do.
I do know Jenifer.
Yeah.
I don't. That's why when you started tearing, I'm like, what? Who
Yeah,
is this?
well-
What are you talking?
Well, please, as soon as this
Google
podcast
her.
is over, please Google her and start playing, or go to Spotify or go to any of the music channels. Alexa, play something by Janis Joplin.
Janis Joplin
You've
and the
never heard
Holding
anything
Company.
like it.
Did she? Was she like performing that night, or she like ran on stage
No,
and like?
She was
Yeah.
performing. I don't think she was invited to perform, but no one in those days was really invited. At the Fillmore, they were. The Jefferson Airplane. I was so thrilled because I was in Silver Lake not very long ago, and I found a T-shirt that I'll have to wear on one of these podcasts that said, "I may be old, but I heard all the great bands." You got to listen to Janis Joplin. And
Jimi
yes, it is
Hendrix
making me
and
tear
Janis
up.
Joplin.
That's awesome. That made you feel like that. You almost cried from that. Like I
It-
love that about
I
music.
I seldom cry when I'm sad. I cry when I'm inspired. I cry when I realize how lucky I am in the people I've met in this lifetime, in the adventures that I've had. I cry when I'm really inspired, and I just remembering that day.
Yeah.
I went up and I talked to Dick Gregory, and then about 6 or 7 years later, he was doing a talk in San Diego, and somehow I was there. I don't even remember the circumstances of why, but I was in the crowd listening to him. He finished, everyone was cheering, and all of a sudden he looked down and he said, "Gaylyn, how wonderful to see you again. Come on up here." Yeah, I mean, I just met people with such heart. I'm just grateful, and it does make me cry with joy.
Beautiful.
Do you guys like listen to music often? Like certain people listen to music all the time. Like I listen to it in the shower. Like are any of you like that with music?
I used to be.
Yeah.
But
so
now-
did I, yeah.
In the shower?
I don't know. Just like
There's music always going
you know
on.
what I mean? Though,
Sicko.
like, do you casually listen to music?
Yeah.
We didn't
Or is
even
it just
have-
in the car?
We didn't have a bathroom.
No, right now.
Oh, now you
Do you- I hope you have a bathroom.
He's right.
By now, yeah.
I think that music has changed, in our opinion.
Well,
And the majority of what is considered music, we can't even understand the words.
no, but I mean, you can still listen to the music you listened to back then.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
That's
like, do
what we
you?
listen
Yeah, I-
to.
Do you casually listen to music a lot, or
Yeah,
is it just
I
when
put
you're
it on the
driving,
computer.
or is it like?
I put it on the computer.
Yeah.
When I'm not watching TV.
Because like over the years for me, music, like now I'm listening to it like all the time in my free time. Like it used to just be like the car or like, before a soccer game or something. But now it's like shower, like while I'm walking around in my house, I just have it like playing. Just curious. I don't
But
know.
what kind of music is it?
The Beatles. No, I'm kidding. Hip hop. Usually. I don't know. I listen to an array of
Chopper.
music.
It's Chopper, right? And music like
Chopper?
that. Chopper.
I don't really listen to him.
Chopper's next week. Next week we get Chopper. We had
A
Chopper.
lot of Drake.
Yeah.
You guys know Drake?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's your favorite.
That's my favorite.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Oh, no. I used to drive him, so
You drove Drake?
yeah.
What? Tell us the time. Tell us the story. He's like, fuck, no, I didn't.
Okay.
Drake doesn't have any
You have
history.
just wanted you to think I was cool.
shocked Jerry.
No, I'm sorry. You're talking about somebody else. I'm talking about Dr. Dre.
21.
Drake.
Oh, I was talking about
Dr.
Dr. Dre. Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool.
He was part of Death Row Records, so ain't no story there. At one time.
I have another question. So you guys have lived through so much. You were around before the internet. Now things like VR and artificial intelligence are taking over. How do you guys feel about the future as far as like technology and how it's getting interwoven into society? Does it scare you? Does it excite you? What do you think the future looks like?
I'm sick of technology. I am.
That's why she didn't want a computer. She's sick of
Well,
technology.
I have something
Another
that
one.
operates, right.
But are you sick of technology like you personally, or as a society, do you think it like affects society negatively?
No, me personally.
Okay. But I'm talking about society as a whole.
Well, it's made it a lot easier for a lot of people, but it's also made it less personable. I mean, there are a lot of things that I prefer talking to somebody rather than sitting on a computer and finishing what the business I have to finish, only because I'm reassured by a person on the other end of a phone call that my request is being taken care of. And on a computer, I'm never sure what I did wrong and what button I didn't press.
There's a conspiracy theory going around now
Uh-oh.
that AI is going to take over.
Right.
And they're going to get rid of people, which somebody's getting rid of people. I don't know if it's AI, but that they're going to run the world. I don't know if I buy into that. I am a computer person. I like dealing with computers, but I don't like sitting on hold to go to endless loops of AI telling me go to some other number.
Yes.
I think it's inevitable. They supposedly found all these new galaxies today from that new telescope that they sent up there. So, que sera, sera, which means what will be, will be.
Well, I'm not afraid of it. But every year that passes, my time in this becomes less and less. So to the youngsters, I say, hey, there was something that took place when my mother passed away that we walked into, and they're going to walk into similar stuff, run with it. But, don't let it run you. Just run with it because, hey, it's inevitable, like she says.
You can get on like Zoom. We do LA play reading on last Sunday of the month, and we get on Zoom, and we've got writers and actors from New Zealand, Australia, and that's wonderful. Meet new people, do their reading and writing, and other actors, but it's only on a video. Now it's seems to be getting lazy. Like, oh, I can go over to Retha's house. Oh, no, I'll just get her on video. Hi, how you doing, Retha? Okay, bye. No human contact.
Yeah, it's like
And
the
I think
EcoCast.
the world needs that. You got to have human contact.
Yeah,
The people are just getting farther and farther away. It's great that you can go to Australia and still talk to someone, but it's like you're next door neighbor. You're going to go over the street and talk to people.
the people meet girls these days. There's no risk reward. In other words, risk being turned down they text them.
Yeah, right, texting.
And it's like impersonal.
I don't think it's inevitable that it's bad. I think that wonderful things are happening and that the darkness on this planet that has been around because human beings have been silly enough to believe all of the nonsense. Remember XKY or whatever that was? That was the end of the
2000,
world.
yeah.
Y2K.
Yeah, it's like
Y2K.
I think that AI is going to be very helpful to human beings and that human beings are becoming better and that the whole planet is going to be becoming better. And I wish I was going to be around to see it.
When it comes to like robots and stuff, though, that seems to be pretty inevitable. Do you guys want to be around in a world where you could come home and have a robot little buddy to hang out with, or just a robot that does the dishes or drives you around and you don't have to put in any effort? Does that sound good or bad?
Can they make them to look like Robert Redford?
They probably could, and that's another thing. You could have a
they might be
girlfriend
doing a little more.
robot.
Well, look,
that
the
keeps you company.
Stepford Wives.
Yeah.
Did you see that
Yeah,
movie?
right.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That,
Or
that was a
Westworld.
great movie.
Westworld,
Yeah.
Stepford Wives, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen
Yeah.
it.
Would you take an artificial person as a wife?
Hell yeah.
I don't know if I'd call her a wife.
do the dishes, clean up. Do everything. Okay.
The chauvinist comes out.
Says the single man.
Yes. And that's why he's single. Okay.
You should give him an artificial guy.
We already have Roombas in our house
Yeah.
that go around
Yeah.
and clean things. So
Oh,
It'll be advanced versions of that. Then they can keep you company too.
Maybe if human beings have some help from technology in doing chores that no one really cares to do,
Sure.
we can spend more time being creative.
Okay.
And I think that's kind of a goal that a certain sector of technology is going towards. It's like in Japan, for instance, the children in Japan have left. They used to leave and come back, or they used to work locally and stay around and stay with the family and the generations and take care of their parents. That was a cultural tradition. Hence, the last, especially 20, 30 years, they've been leaving, and it keeps getting in greater numbers. So now the elderly and the seniors are left alone, basically, and they're trying to learn ways to deal with that. They have robotics that now are caretakers in the home. They'll be like the butler, and they'll be the cook, and they can help people in and out of bed and that type of thing. And, for some, that's a little harsh, but for others, it's a godsend, because there's no one else to take care of them.
Can they do my
Yeah.
taxes?
They can definitely
they can do
your
my taxes. That's good, yeah.
Yeah.
That's no problem. ChatGPT could do your taxes.
But that's turning the world into such an impersonal place.
Well, that's limited in the numbers that it's going on. I don't know how popular that would really get, but it's just advances that normally come with a need. A need creates its own energy. And I don't think people aren't going, because people will see, okay, my parents are being taken care of that. Are they unhappy?
Yes.
Then the kids wouldn't want to do it, and it wouldn't go forward.
No.
No, but maybe
I don't
the
think-
kids can still visit and do stuff, but like,
Oh, sure,
it
they
doesn't have
can.
to be every
It's not
second.
mandatory. This
I
is
don't know.
something
Yeah.
to do that you want to. It's
Right.
not,
I don't know that I want an artificial.
you don't have to have
being.
one.
Well, I don't plan on someone
Yeah.
else taking care of
Well,
me.
you could have
I
him
can
as young as
take
you
care
want.
of-
What about an automated heart if you needed one?
Well, that's different.
You could-
What about a 27-year-old artificial robot
With all your favorite features.
See, there's exceptions to all the rules.
So-
I hope no one ever has to help me out
Yes.
of bed.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the little like Postmates like thingy in the streets, like
Yeah, oh,
delivering
yeah.
food and stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it scared the hell out of me one day.
Oh yeah, those things
trips
running
me
around
out.
by themselves.
Yeah,
And, and
trips
you know
me
how
out.
they take breaks? I was in Santa Monica
take breaks?
yesterday. Yeah.
Why do they need
in
a
between
break?
in between missions, they park, and there's a lot of them in Santa Monica. So I've got a picture of one that he's off hours or whatever they are on a break. It's parked in a little alcove next to a restaurant, and above it, in the window of the restaurant, is help wanted. And here's
Whoa.
this little robot sitting right below that sign.
He has
I
a-
thought that was kind of,
That's
Maybe he's there for
Interesting.
employment.
Yeah, give it an application.
yeah. He's looking for another robot. This one's done.
Oh
you know.
God!
But I thought that was a little ironic.
Yeah, I saw my first one when I left here once to get my car fixed, and while waiting, and came out of AutoZone, walking towards the car repair shop, and said, "What the hell is that thing?" And it moved and stopped, went around me. It was like that was eerie. That was
Yeah.
That was the
Whoa.
future.
no, I didn't
I
like
could
it.
see Eugene sniffing it or something.
Say, what the hell?
Well, I did on the way back from Sonoma. I did see a semi that was autonomous, and they had a driver sitting there, but he wasn't doing anything.
Crazy. They're coming for our jobs.
That's low-key
Yeah.
scary.
As I was going by it, yeah, he was a 16-wheeler. I'm going,
Yeah, imagine that thing like
Oh, I'm outta
malfunctions
here.
and just fuck somebody up.
yeah,
Yeah, well, have you seen a lot? They got a lot of. I didn't know they had so many nice electric cars.
oh yeah,
Man,
That's because they want you to buy them.
yeah.
yeah, but I thought they just. I didn't know anything but Tesla. you know,
No,
but
there's
boy,
more companies.
Everybody's
lot
got
coming.
them.
oh God, yeah. You see that one with the one seat? It's a one-seater.
You should get one of
And
those.
3 tires.
They're
It's
called
got the one thing in the
motorcycles.
front and
Oh,
the two on the
that's
side.
too tired
unicycle?
to drive.
Motorcycles.
Yeah.
A motorcycle, Jerry?
No,
It's close to a motorcycle.
I've seen it. It's like at the mall, parked in the
It's
middle
got
of
a
the mall.
shell
I
around
think I've seen it.
though.
I think I've seen it.
yeah, yeah,
It has wheels.
yeah.
Yeah,
God,
has
yeah,
electric motor.
yeah. How far are you gonna take me down this road?
window?
Has wheels. Has window. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, but really, I think I've seen that. It's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah. Some of them are really nice.
Well, wrapping it up for today, gang.
That was fun, folks.
Yep. I hope
was.
everybody else had as much fun as we did.
I know
Yes.
too much about you guys.
And next week
And
we
you're
can
gonna
say all
learn
the same
more.
things
Oh,
again because we won't
God.
remember we had this one, right?
We'll be replaced by robots next week. We won't be-
Right.
Oh, that might work.
We should have
robots.
a robot guest.
Oh,
Yes.
We
Let's
should-
interview one.
Oh, I shouldn't say chick. We should make her the robot. Put her face on the thing.
Did you want
I have no idea what
You
we're
want to
talking
interview a
You're going to come
Roomba?
into work and you're all fired because we got 6 robots that we don't have to pay. They don't eat. They don't sleep.
Roombas.
They're ready to
That's
work
right.
24/7.
That's right.
They'll just, when I ask to go on the tables, they'll just jump up. You know, I don't have to help anyone
They'll
up.
hover up. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. Thank
Yes,
you
Yes,
for
right.
watching.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye.
Peace out.